Hello and welcome back to Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. Before we get started, guys, please hit the like and subscribe button if you're watching this, and if you're also on our YouTube, and if you're on our YouTube channel. But if you're also on our audio channels, please give us a 5-star review and also download this podcast and many more if you're listening to this. My guest today is a fabulous actress and screenwriter. She just released her film, Introducing Jodea, which she wrote and starred in, and she's also coming up to The Righteous Gemstones, which will be on HBO as Gloria Freeman. So please help me welcome Chloe Traicos.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I really appreciate it.
No. That's it's good. Thank you.
All right, so Chloe, when did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve into desire to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
Well, with me. There never was another option. From when I was old enough to realize that people in films weren't really who they were acting as, that they were actually actors. I knew that was what I wanted to do. So, yeah, there was never an option since I was 4 years old. I'd say that I wanted to make films.
Awesome. And so were there any films in particular that stood out to you?
No. I had I grew up watching like classic musicals, but I don't it wasn't I didn't watch a particular film that that I saw and one day wanted to be an actress. I just always knew that was what I wanted to do.
I think it's the same with me when I saw when I saw a talk show host like a Regis Phil and a Rosie
Oh
O'Donnell, and
yeah.
I thought that, oh man,
That's
I would love to do that.
fantastic. Yeah, you've got to have a passion and follow it.
Absolutely, 100%.
Mm.
So, speaking of influences, who are some of your biggest influences, and how did they make an impact on your craft?
I think one of my biggest influences, I think, was my dad is incredibly determined and a hard worker, and he's taught me that from the start. Just always, to get anything in life, you have to work really hard. And my mother's always been telling me, that pretty much always raised me with the thinking you can do anything, which is a great way to grow up thinking. And my grandmother always was pretty much the same. She always taught me the saying, when there's a will there's a way, and that's something which in this industry which is just so hard. Phrases like that are the ones that get you through that, where you stop and think, okay, if I really want this to happen, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. So yeah, my family are very, very close. It influenced me a lot.
Same with my family.
Oh,
I
really?
have fantastic parents. I
Good.
had
Yeah.
four incredible, diverse grandparents. I'm just grateful
Amazing.
to have them in my life. Not to mention grandparental figures and also mentors as well.
That's lovely. No, it is. It's good when you've got that. I think we're very blessed.
Absolutely. So you and I both know this industry is a big challenge. So, what are some of the challenges that you faced working in the entertainment industry, and what were some of the best ways that you overcame some of those tough obstacles?
I think the main challenge that you face is, especially when you're trying to get a film off the ground, is, oh, well, you can't make it for less than $8 million or whatever they tell you at the time. And, this film will never get up without that money or without a star attached. And that was said to me so many times. And I was so determined to make this film. And then I got to the stage where we couldn't get a star attached. And, as I said, I was not going to sit there and let someone tell me that I was going to be too old to be in my own movie. So I knew we had to act then and there. And so I overcame that obstacle, right? Okay, fine. We cut the budget. We shoot it well. We do it on a low budget, but we shoot it well. So that's kind of like one way of overcoming the obstacle of, okay, so we didn't make it for, a huge amount of money, but you know what? We made it, and it's been doing pretty well. So, that's one way to overcome the obstacles, just to do it no matter what, and don't listen to people who tell you it can't be done.
I totally agree because here's the thing. It's just tough when people tell you, want to pigeonhole you in this industry. Because
Yes.
you're either a caricature or an
Yes.
archetype. It drives people insane.
Right, for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's very. I know they can be very narrow-minded. I mean, I always say don't listen to agents or producers because they're the ones who only think about money and they don't care. They just see you and they think about how much money they can make out of you. But if for example, in your case, if someone really huge really liked your show, your talk show, all of a sudden every agent would be calling you. That's how they operate. It's like they're complete, that they're sheep. They're, it's so yeah, that's kind of how I perceive it. It's kind of and it's hard because you do take things personally. It's hard not to take things personally when you constantly reject it, but you kind of have to see things from their perspective. And at the end of the day, they thinking about making money, and that's how they operate. So it's just yeah, it's the way it works. The creative people and the money people.
Yeah, it's sad that no one can come to a happy medium. It's tough.
Yeah, it's very yeah, it is. There is a yeah, it's true. It's very true. Yep.
Alrighty, so let's talk about your introducing Jodea. And
Sure.
in addition to starring in a title role, like you mentioned, you also wrote the screenplay. So how long did it take you to write it?
I mean, the idea first came to me back in 2007 when I was running a delivery for a producer I was working for, and I had to drop a script off at one of the better known agencies in Sydney. And while I was circling, trying to find parking, it was very, very Friday afternoon, like today, bad traffic, and I kept thinking, what if a world famous director came out of the agency, got in his car, and drove into the back of mine? And that was how the idea started. And then I used to visit LA quite a bit before I moved over here. But it was just always, I was always struck by the huge gap between rich and poor. And that was another thing which I sort of, again, sort of found its way. That was when I decided I wanted to set this in LA, to make it a kind of real Cinderella story, someone from the poor, is literally, just getting the lucky break. So, yeah, so that's kind of like how that was when it started. So yes, you could say, I mean, we shot it just before lockdown and we wrapped just before lockdown last year. So it was kind of all of 12 years. But I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't working just on that and all that time. There were other projects as well, but Jodea was always kind of there. But I only started really concentrating it on like the last few years before we shot.
I think first of all, kudos to you for making that jump from Australia to the United States.
Thank you.
So
Thank
what
you.
was was it a tough transition or was it a simple transition?
No, it wasn't tough. It wasn't that tough because I already had a network of friends over here because I was always coming to and fro. So it wasn't a tough transition. I think when you've got a community here, it makes things a lot easier. Um, so yeah, no, it wasn't that bad at all.
Awesome. So basically, with Jodea, so in addition, so basically, we're hitting. So if you had a chance to meet a famous film director, and he hit you accident, and they hit you accidentally, it's a very interesting concept.
Yes, yes, yeah, it is. It's yeah. Hmm.
So how long did it take you? What like the process like between after lockdown, like after COVID lockdowns to now?
Oh,
So
right.
with
Well,
the
we,
editing.
thankfully then we'd shot most of it. So, well, pretty much all of it. So it was lockdown, just literally it actually was perfect timing for us because we were able to concentrate on the edit, the music, the sound, all things you can do with social distancing. So it wasn't, so that's where we were lucky. So yes, it was just, so literally it was really finished by the end of probably by this time last year. So yeah, it was just, it was actually, lockdown did serve us perfectly for that.
Absolutely, and it might have, and like I've heard a lot. I've talked to a lot of I've talked to filmmakers and influencers who faced a whole lot of obstacles during
Oh yeah.
filming process of during the lockdown and shutdown.
Oh yes. I mean, as I just said, we were so lucky that we wrapped just before because that was yeah, not it would have just been a disaster.
But like, thank goodness that introducing Jodea is off on the ground is having incredible success.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. Yes, no, I'm very pleased by the reactions it's been getting. So, thank you. Yes.
So speaking of which, you will be returning to a very popular HBO dramedy, The Righteous Gemstones, as Gloria Freeman for its sophomore season. So, how did you first hear about about The Righteous Gemstones, and what drew you to this particular character?
Well, that was one which was completely my agent sent me the sides to audition, and I got the part. I knew about Danny McBride. I knew of the show because that was season one but yeah, I never, it was the first time I did an audition when I actually didn't even get a call back. They said right away I'd got the part, which was I was thrilled with. So yeah, that was just completely by chance, and I was very, very lucky.
And not to and like people have to we read stories in the industry about people having to go through 5 to 6 callbacks to get that
Oh
dream
yeah.
job. So
Yeah, sometimes it
how
happens that way. Yep. I mean, I think TV's faster though, because I think TV they don't do as much. But it was like I filmed the audition on the Sunday, and then on the Tuesday I got this text from my agent, check your emails now. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh my God. And they're like, yeah, can you fly out to South Carolina tonight? We're flying you out to South Carolina tonight. And that was the Tuesday. And Wednesday was my wardrobe fitting, and Thursday we shot.
So, what is Gloria's motivation this time around this season? And I
Um,
understand she has a bigger part.
No, no, she's it's just one episode, but and I don't know how much I'm allowed to tell. I don't want to get into trouble. But basically,
Okay.
Gloria is like she's Baby Billy's fourth wife, and he is if you've seen the show, Baby Billy Walton Goggins' character is very over the top. He's a pretty much he steals the show. He's amazing, and Gloria just kind of she's his wife who just kind of puts up with it, who worships him and dotes on their son. So she's happy to be the wife of a minister, and she and a loving mom.
Awesome to hear that. And then, so how does the register, like, I would love to compare and contrast with versus introducing Jodea and the Righteous Gemstones. I know they're two completely apples and oranges and other projects. So, how is that? How are those
Oh,
experiences similar and different?
I mean, huge. I mean, the thing is, the thing with the Righteous Gemstones is it's wonderful because I'm not producing on that. So I'm basically an actor, and you get, and so I don't have to worry about anything except my character. Whereas Jodea, Jodea it was a really tough shoot. We shot it in 6 weeks. We had the director, we flew him out from Australia. He was on a visa. He only had that 6 week window because he was needed back in Australia for other jobs. And literally 4 days before we started shooting, the production manager and the production designer pulled out.
Wow.
So it was a really tough shoot. So John, the director, and I literally every night after shooting had to go, instead of preparing for our scenes the next day, we literally had to go and we had to work out what props we needed. Did we have these props? Did we have these props? Did we have these extras? Did we have this? So it was nerve-wracking. So I kind of didn't relax. But whereas Gemstones was cool. It's just, you just show up, get paid, do your job, and I love it.
Awesome, awesome. So we gotta start winding down our interview. So, what are some of your favorite? Do you have it? What if you have? What are some of your favorite social media apps?
Oh, I mean, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if they call them favorite apps. I try not to spend too much time on them because they can be real time wasters. So, yeah, but I guess I do use. I mean, I like to use them as it's a way of keeping in touch with my family and friends in other countries. I like to see what they're doing. So, yeah, Instagram's very good like that. Facebook's good too. Of course, Facebook, it can be very tricky sometimes because you'll have people who will post things that can be offensive and stuff. So I try not to be on it that much. I just I mean, I'd say, but those are the only two. I mean, I'm on Twitter as well, but I hardly ever use that. So, as I say, I use them. It's more for me as a chance to keep in touch with people who live overseas.
I totally agree completely. It can be a very addiction app. That's why I haven't even
Yes,
that's why I removed Facebook from my phone completely.
good for
And
you. Yeah.
yeah, it's and messengers. The only thing on that's Facebook associated is Instagram, and that's basically it.
That's good. Yeah, good for you. I admire you for that. I mean, I have friends who've done the same. I haven't done that because with some people, it's my only contact with them. I have to, at some point, I don't know when, go through all my Facebook friends, contact them, get their emails, and then I'll go off Facebook. But right now, I'm just holding on to it because it is my one way of staying in contact with a lot of people. But yeah, I admire you for that, and I am going to do that at some point. I kind of have to. It's so it is just very, very time consuming.
For me, time consuming is also TikTok. That's why I'm not on that app.
Yes, no, I refused to get on it as well for that reason. I thought, no, I'm already on these ones, so I'll just, yeah, TikTok is, yeah, don't want to do that.
Alrighty, awesome. So if you have the opportunity to meet with a creator who wants to continue to advance a career in the industry, no matter it's film or television, what advice would you share with them?
Sorry, a creator, are you talking about like someone
An
starting out?
actor, or producer, writer.
Someone who's just starting out, or
Yeah, someone.
I mean, the advice I say is don't, you've got to be in this because you want it, and you can't want it if you want to get rich fast, because it's not going to happen like that. That's not how the industry works. If you want to get rich fast, go become a lawyer or a doctor, or I was just telling someone in an interview earlier today, I recruited people. I wanted to recruit film students for this, and I contacted a few of the film schools, and they got back to me and said, oh, no, our students are paid union rates. And I kind of wanted to say, you have really just hurt your students' careers, because nobody is going to want to pay students union rates. So they're not going to get a job right away. And it's also like the students are going to go out there thinking, well, I'm going to get paid. I deserve to get paid. They're not going to go out there thinking, hey, I want this. I'm going to work hard at this. This is what I have to do. You have to go in there and be prepared to do the long yards. You have to be prepared to work all hours for no pay when you're starting out, and you have to do it because you want to do it and not care, and just see, and I mean, and the other thing is you also look at things like, okay, you get a job on a movie, you're not getting paid, you've got to be, the hours are lousy, but hey, it's going to give you, if you're serious about this, you're going to get to meet other people on the crew who you can network with, and maybe one of them would like your idea, and maybe you can then get together and then get your project made. So it's kind of, so my advice is, don't do it for the money, do it because you want to do it, and you have to work hard. It's a cutthroat industry, and it's like, and people are replaceable. They really are. It's what they don't get is, if you start, it's kind of I mean, I was just saying earlier, I had an actor who, very talented, I was going to give him a small role in my movie, and then he said to me, I mean, he hadn't done much, but I wanted to help him, and then he said, oh, you're shooting on Santa Clarita? That's way too far. I'm not going out there. And
Are you kidding me? I'm sorry. I would find any move heaven and earth to do that.
right. I mean, my first movie, which I made when which I acted when I was a teenager, their call time was 10:30 at night on a Friday till all hours of Saturday morning. It was and it was shot over a series of weeks on a Friday and Saturday nights. I didn't even have my license then. I cannot remember how I got to set and how I got home, but I just know that I did. So it was just, you have to just work it out. It's so if you want it that bad, you'll do it. So it just kind of, and just sadly, even though this actor friend was a friend, it's just kind of like you move on. There are plenty of other actors, plenty of other crew members who want the chance. So it's kind of, people have to realize that if you want it, you've got to give it your all, and you've got to be the best you can be, and you've got to be the person that people are going to want to work with again. I mean, John, who directed this, he directed my very first movie 12 years ago, and
Oh,
we are
wow.
the best of friends, and we will always work together. And I have a lot of crew friends who are like that, who I will always work with, and actor friends too, who I've called back and back again to projects because they're dedicated, they give it their all. And so that's the best advice I can give, is just give it everything, and work with people, give it your best, because those people could help you. They could help you get your project happening.
Awesome. Chloe, before we go, I want you to please, where can my audience, not only can, I know you mentioned social media,
Yes.
but where can they find your films, and where can they find your projects, and
Sure.
also social media?
Sure. Well, my social media, my Instagram page is Chloe Traicos Official. And then Introducing Jodea is out now on iTunes and Amazon and Google Play. It's on a whole. It only comes out on Netflix in February, but it's on a whole lot of channels now. But sorry, I can't remember them all. But the main two are Amazon and iTunes, which I think everyone has access to one of those. And yeah, and then I mean, I am on Facebook too. Just Chloe Traicos, you'll find me. Yeah.
Awesome. So, guys, if you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, visit our Apple Podcast, Deezer, Google Podcast, Spotify and Spreaker. Podcast Addict, not Spotify Addict, and to check it out. Just Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Please check out my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube channels. Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And Chloe, Jake's Take is continuing its 10th anniversary celebration.
Congrats! That's wonderful. Good for you. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. And to read my interviews, articles, interviews, and more, head to jakes-shake.com. That's the blog that started all. And if you're financially able to, please consider heading to PayPal to help keep jakes-shake.com up and running. It means a lot to me if you can financially able to. If not, I totally understand. A good social media subscription and also a 5-star review and like of every video would be perfect. Chloe, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule for talking with me today. I appreciate it. And thank you very much, guys. Have a fabulous day. Bye.
Thanks a lot.